Yes, just call me Lana. Uh-oh. I think we lost our audio there. I can hear you now. You had a little gap there for a second. Well, no,
I'm just
no.
kidding. I'm just kidding. Tell me about all that you do.
Well, on the straight side, on the Muggle side, I do have a law degree. Um, I also have Ph.D.s in Divinity, Metaphysics, and Religious Philosophy. Reiki Grandmaster, 18th degree. Melchizedek High Priestess.
Now, tell me about that one.
Ceremonial
What is
magician.
that? What is the priestess part? What is that? I don't.
Well, as a Melchizedek, I focus my healing on the world. As a Reiki Grandmaster, yes, I do the same thing, but I also focus on my community locally. So the Alpha and Omega Order of Melchizedek, the cosmic one, is concerned with the energies coming into this planet and how they're manifesting with the population. And folks like me try to keep the balance.
And so, do you feel that the pandemic and all of these different social changes have a significant vibration with the universe right now? And if so, can you tell me what you think they are?
Well, certain vibration, well, I think we're all being tested. I feel that the universe has shifted in energies in a significant way. I believe that there was an alignment of heavenly bodies that pretty much focused the ray of energy from the center part of the universe like a bowling alley right to us. And so that influx of energy has been affecting every good, bad, or indifferent. Unfortunately, you can see the gamut on social media. Some people are faring very well, like myself. This year is my year, thank goodness. And other people, not so much. In fact, other people are doing not so good. And there's a lot of those others. Um, what David, my husband, and I try to do is to keep talking to people, to try to get them to relax, to keep their focus, keep centered, keep in mind the things that are important. I think the pandemic, in a way, was a good thing for everyone because it forced everyone to stop what they're doing, stop with their rat race, and reconnect with the people who matter because they're getting lost in the shuffle. And this was a great way to bring families back together. Now we've got social distancing, which doesn't make any sense at all because we're social people. Humans are social. So we have a lot of things that are tugging at our heartstrings. And I think that it's important now that everybody remember who they are and try to get back to a saner place, which means got to take some time, take a breath, take 2 breaths, 3 breaths, go in, take some time out in nature or just in your room and be still. People have lost the value of silence and they're just emoting. And I think emotions are just running amok and it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing a lot of putting out sound healings to get people to relax, to get people to clear and heal. And hopefully it works.
Do you feel, Lana, that, and this is maybe a bizarre thought, do you feel sometimes like all of the sightings that people are seeing, um, about, what they feel are coming from other planets? Do you feel that that has anything to do with this?
Well, I suppose I won't negate it.
Hmm.
We're not the only things in the universe. It's too big. We're not
Yeah,
alone.
yeah.
But I also think that we're also not alone here on this planet. There are a lot
Hmm.
of races that are subterranean that some of us who have the ability to go look have been privy to discovering. A lot of us don't know, but we're curious and we want to
Hmm.
find out. Um, as for the people who think that there are folks out there that are influencing us here, I
Maybe,
won't,
maybe
like I
not.
said, um, sure, why not? Why
I
not?
was just asking that because I was watching a show yesterday, and it was about, it was something about um, all these people that say that perhaps with all the different rebooting, resetting of nature, of families, of discrimination, of
Yeah,
politics, that perhaps it's all coming together for a reason, and that they were also attributing it to the fact that maybe interstellarly, it was like that was all resetting itself for the next phase of a encounter or whatever. But that encounter, everybody thinks is different. Now, my Jehovah's Witness sister believes that the encounter is going to be that the end of the world. And then there are those that believe that Jesus is coming back. And there are those that believe that, it's just everybody who's, whatever your faith is, believes that the one of their time, of their belief system, is going to make a magical appearance, and maybe not, or maybe it's vibrationally, but it sure does seem like a lot of things are setting themselves up to happen, and
well,
hopefully good.
with that influx of energy that I was talking about, Annie, it's like a big rock was thrown into our placid lake of not knowing.
Hmm.
And those ripples are really affecting everyone. And they're going to affect everyone differently because everyone is in a different position.
Hmm.
We're all unique, in that
Hmm.
respect.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's a great time right now. The gateways are open, the portals are open, and I really think people need to just stop and find a new level and begin again. You know, everybody's just being really emotional, which is not showing a lot of control. You know, people are saying, well, everything's out of control. I don't have any choices. You have choices. That's just it. And if we take the perspective that wherever our heart looks to, we create, because the mind follows the heart, and whatever you're focused on in your thoughts will manifest in words, and you will create whatever is going to be for you in your space. It's happened to me. It happens to lots of people. So take the hint, guys. Just settle down and make it yours. And it's really, to me, I know that sounds trite, but it's that
No.
simple.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, can you hang on? Will you have patience with yourself? Those are questions. People don't want to look at themselves for whatever reason. And I see a lot of folks that are in that mindset, and all I could say is take a breath. One thought, one heartbeat, one breath, one action. That's all we could do. And
So do you have a lot of people that are coming to you for energy work right now?
yes,
Do you have a lot of, and how about now you said you don't believe that the social distancing makes sense.
it doesn't.
What would be your reasoning for that? I mean, I know what the reasoning is, but so you feel that despite the virus, it is better to be together? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because for one thing, physiologically, you're thwarting your immune system. We have an immune system that is really complicated and beautiful in its complexity, and it does cover us when we need it. And that means being out in the environment, exposed to all the germs, because we've always been exposed to germs, Annie. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what the heck reason this little virus has now, when we've had worse things, H1N1, that bird flu thing,
What was the
Ebola,
flu? The flu,
all those,
yeah. Well, but Lana, I'll bet you that if you and I were exposed to what is that called?
Ebola.
Ebola. I'm pretty sure that we would be, as far as energetically protected. I'm not sure that I would be, because that's pretty dangerous stuff. I mean, I get what you're saying, but there's viruses and there's viruses, and so I guess I'm still cautious. But I still mingle with the people that are close to me. But I live in the fourth highest packing house area. We have over 1,500 cases of the virus just lately. So
Wow.
where I'm at, and that's a town 14 miles from me. So I do have my paranoias, but I want to make sure that now what confuses me is I know what you're saying about being exposed, energetically protected, but there are people out there. What really made me mad was watching these people that would say, for instance, a good old Italian family had a guest over for church dinner. The mother got it, the daughter got it, all the family members got it, died. But a redneck alcoholic that was in the hospital down the road says, "Dear God, I'm protected because I never died, and and the doctor says it's a miracle." And I'm thinking, I don't get that because energetically, I would think that he's a little on the dense side, but and they may have been spiritually maybe a little higher level, but on the other hand, it was it was one of those things that made you realize that there was nothing fair about the virus. But I digress. So, what is practical magic?
What is practical magic? Practical magic is
Despite the movie, I don't, I'm not going in there. Yeah.
no, no. But for me, practical magic is being able to manifest with your mind.
Okay, I wondered because I looked at a description and it was sounded a lot like The Secret or manifesting. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does sound like The Secret. It sounds like Law of Attraction, which
Mm-hmm.
is part of it. I
Mm-hmm.
won't deny that.
Mm-hmm.
The Hermetic laws are always in operation on our planet.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel that when you magnetize yourself to what you want, you will attract it, plain and simple. And like attracts like.
Yeah.
There are things, yes, like and opposites. Also, opposites attract. But in this case, I believe that when you keep your mind focused
Mm-hmm.
and you put that wish out there, put it out there and just make it spontaneous, make it heartfelt, and then leave it alone.
Don't bitch at the universe. Don't
Right. Don't
be a
be
nagging fishwife. I know a lot of people that look at prayer like that. They're like nagging fishwives. Dear Lord, give me a love.
nobody
Give me love. I
you
need
know
it.
what's
Give me
wrong with that?
love.
You know what's wrong with that? Again, using the Placid Lake metaphor, when you throw that rock of focused intention and you
Mm-hmm.
leave it alone, you've caused these ripples and the ripples fan out. And when you don't interrupt that motion with continuous nagging, do it again, say it again, pray for that again, again and again and again, and well, let me change it a little bit more this time, you
Mm-hmm.
get interference. And the universe goes, well, what do you want? What do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Be definitive. Be definitive about it. You know, and the only way to do that metaphysically is to do that one time. Do the one rock thing. You know, you focus, you clear your mind, like in a moment of despair, right? And you're not doing anything but thinking, oh my goodness, if only. And all of a sudden your heart is like at that point where it's just that open. That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that moment, it's in silence, you're still, and the universe only hears this one song. That's it. And you're not going to sing it again. It's
You're not the
it's
nagging
just
fishwife.
no, you're not the nagging fishwife. You're just you're just like you're just like a mouse singing somewhere out there or something like that, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just one of those that is the magic, Annie. It works. It does work.
That's the practical magic of it.
Yes, it
The
does work.
practical magic is less is more.
Yes, I believe so.
Practical
Every
magic
time
is
I've
less
been
is more,
successful.
but powerful intent. Yeah, I agree. So I'm wondering if Bill could play us the chakra meditation, and you can go ahead and give us the moon picture and take their pictures of us away and just have the meditation, if you would, Mr. Bill.
First, we'll open the Earth
Oh, I
chakra,
love it.
located at the base of the spine. It deals with survival, and is blocked by fear. What are you most afraid of? Next is the water chakra. This chakra deals with pleasure and is blocked by guilt. Now, look at all the guilt which burdens you so. What do you blame yourself for? Third is the fire chakra, located in the stomach. This chakra deals with willpower and is blocked by shame. What are your biggest disappointments in yourself? The fourth chakra is located in the heart. It deals with love and is blocked by grief. Lay all your grief out in front of you. You have indeed felt a great loss. But love is a form of energy, and it swirls all around you. The fifth in the chain is the sound chakra, located in the throat. It deals with truth and is blocked by lies. The lies we tell ourselves. You cannot lie about your own nature. The sixth pool of energy is the light chakra, located in the center of the forehead. It deals with insight and is blocked by illusion. The greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. Things you think are separate and different are actually one and the same. We are all one people. The thought chakra is located at the crown of the head. It deals with pure cosmic energy and is blocked by earthly attachment. Meditate on what attaches you to this world. Let all of those attachments go.
I like it. I love that music. It reminds me of Conan. Did you
Oh,
ever see the
yes,
movie Conan
Conan the
when
Barbarian.
this man turns into a snake? I always love that kind of music. Anyway, um, what chakra do you think is being affected most by people at this time? Do you think is there a such thing as a universal chakra that would be, you
I
know,
think that, yeah, their solar plexus chakra, the
ah,
in the solar plexus, um, affected. That's your sun, effectively. And what's happening, in my humble opinion, is that the Kundalini chakras, your root and your sacral chakra, perineum, and right above the pubic bone, the male and female aspects of yourself are merging into one and joining into your solar plexus. So you're raising your consciousness level so that now the root chakra will become the solar plexus. But the thing of it is that that is your identity. It's who you are. It's and that's something that everybody's being challenged with right now. A lot of these
identity.
emotional, yes, a lot of these emotions that are out there, Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, it's about who are you? What are your priorities?
How do you see people?
How do you see people? How do you treat people? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and if you treat people a certain way, then are you actually treating yourself that way? So there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. I know, I would like to think that people are basically good people. So we've just been tempted to experience lots of different things in this duality. And it's a matter of, have we had enough or haven't we?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
back in the old days when nobody ever saw any further than the front of their hut, there was no reason to be able to have to relate to anything other than your family and your crops and what was before you. And the actual evolution of man as he progresses and that backyard and front yard becomes a world and the TV set and the TV and I believe that media does. I know that I really get angry sometimes how much media does control the hysteria of what's going on. I mean, I am appreciative of knowledge. I am appreciative of understanding what's going on in the world. But I'm not appreciative of talking heads that bring out the emotional aspects of everything, whether it's Fox, CNN, whatever it is. It's this emotional gut reaction to take a side, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of the sides. I'm just sick and tired of taking a side. I just wish and that's where it's at. Unity is just seeming to be gone. And there is a sense of, well, I know it's not gone, but I'm just saying if anything,
it's not in the discussion. You
no,
know.
if anything, being forced to stay at home has created a lot of unity for people that they never had a chance or said. The one funny thing I thought was funny was somebody said that their friend told them that once that they had time, they'd get to cleaning their house a little better.
You got time now. You got
They
time.
said it was funny, but even when they were at time, there was still other things they'd rather do, or So um, I think that I was reading somewhere on internet about the oxygen level in the world, or how the ozone or whatever was being affected, and how much it had done good for the planet to have everybody shut down for a while. I loved the fact that Venice went back to what it was, where people were singing opera from their balconies and harmonizing with each other a block down the road, and how the waters were clearing as the boats were shored up, and how the water, you could see through the water again, and how the people that were appreciative of the frontline workers and applauding, and I love that part of it.
Yes.
I think
That
that part was beautiful.
I think that part was very beautiful, and everybody should have taken the hint.
Yeah.
Because Earth wants us to slow down, so we're slowing down. And everybody's like, I want it back to normal. What, you want to go back to being a slave? Really? You would rather pass your kids off to school because you don't want to deal with them? Really? In the meantime, yeah, LA looks great. There's no smog. You know, um, Gee, China looks great because there's no smog. I mean,
Really?
how many places are
There
like
is
that?
no smog in China?
Yeah, well, they were saying that Beijing, they used to have these huge screens showing blue sky just to remind everybody that there was blue sky out there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how much pollution they've got there.
Wow. Jeez.
So, and they didn't have to do that, for the first time in 100 years, I don't know, since the cars have been going anyway, um, you could see the Himalayas. So there were things like that happening in the world, and you just have to stop and think, wow,
What
we're
do I
not
learn
so
from
busy
this?
anymore. We're not
Yeah.
so wrapped up in the technology. We don't need this fossil fuel stuff. We could just be at home. And everybody's going, well, I want to do this, that, and the other. That's great. But now you can do it from home. You know, um,
The only thing is, I do believe that the ones that have really been cheated are the young from graduations and things like that. They're angry, and they see us
well,
old
yeah.
farts and say, "If it weren't for you, I could have a life." But they have to be seeing some of the changes too and making sense of it. But Tell me about the business that you and your husband have now. You guys are such soulmates. I just cannot believe. I remember the days when you were alone, and then you were both, and then you were with your hubby, and it's like your whole world changed, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. David and I have a very good relationship. We let it hang. If we have something to say, we say it.
Oh,
So,
good. I'm glad to know you're not perfect.
no, are you
Do you think
kidding
that's
me?
okay?
I'm far from perfect.
No, do you
But
do you do you think it's okay for relationships? I know so many couples that say, "Oh, we never fight," and I'm always thinking, really, that is just because you
weird.
hold it back like a sneeze, or do you really get along that perfectly? And I think that's great. But so you're telling me that your perfect soulmate you actually have words with sometimes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. We do. Most of the time, it's great because
Mhm.
we're able to discuss, and David and I love to discuss about what's happening.
That is
We,
beautiful.
you know, we're helping people all the time, Annie. So we're
Mhm.
always talking to each other about, well, what about this person? What about that person? What do you
Tell
think
Give me an
about?
example. Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Well, let's see. David is working with a couple of people rather closely right now. One woman is in the Philippines, and she's in a difficult spot. She has a husband who is being unfaithful to her openly, and she has an autistic son who is about 17 and violent
A
in
violent
his,
artistic or autistic?
I think it's autistic.
Mhm.
Um, and I'm not really sure. I'm not dealing with her directly, so I don't know the particulars of her situation, but he needs help. And she's in a position where she really can't do
So
anything
what
but go to work um, and come home and take care of her son, who doesn't want to go to school, doesn't want to do anything, just wants to sit in his room and be angry. And he does things like put holes in the wall, in the
wow.
doors, and the husband isn't around, doesn't care. So
Mm.
that woman is constantly, she finds solace in emoting to David, and of course when somebody does that, we're sending Reiki all the time to calm her down, to calm the son down, you
Mhm.
know, and see if that helps. And half the time it does help. Actually, most of the time it helps her. 3 out of 4 times it helps the son, so that's good. Not a
Oh.
bad track record. Yeah.
Does he know you guys then?
No,
Does he
he
talk to you?
doesn't, but the mother does. No, we don't talk to him. We just we'll just go through the mother, if you know what I mean. As in, if he's having a really violent day, we try to work through her seeing him, and that way we can reach him as well and calm
How
him
old
down.
is he a how old is he?
About 17.
Okay. So is he what you call a high functioning autistic?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I have a couple of students who are high functioning autistics, and they're not, in comparison, he isn't. They're
Mm-hmm.
pretty calm. They have they have a high level of interest in the esoterica,
Mm.
in the occult
That
sciences.
does not that does not surprise me because
Right.
my husband has an autistic niece, but she has no ability to communicate. She can't speak. But when she would come to visit us, her hands would be like this, and she walked down the lane feeling the energy from the trees. And she would walk up to trees and feel them. And it's like, I cried. I was like, ah.
I got goosebumps when you said that.
Mhm.
Um,
It's like,
yeah, they're really special people. And what I love about autistic individuals, especially now in this time, is they don't think linearly. That is their gift.
now
They don't think,
tell me what you mean. Linear thinking is what again?
well, linear thinking, left brain thinking, everything's logical, everything has an
Logic?
order.
Hmm.
When you're non-linear, you don't think in a straight line,
Hmm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
There is no there is no one foot in front of the other. There's literally, your consciousness leaps from one experience to another. Just like that. There's no, I took certain steps, I took a path to get from A to B. No, it's more like A, M, F, B.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
She would
and
actually get energetic overload from colors, and she would start to scream at colors in Walmart. She would react vibrationally to facial expressions, to colors, to it was just pure energy, and it was like all I could think of was she's brilliant, but in what? I know she's brilliant in something here that I can't define, but maybe it's just what you're saying, nonlinear, but something else too.
well, in our Melchizedek studies, sound is like the lightest form of energy. And then it gets denser when it turns into light and starts to take on different frequencies as it's going toward the third dimension. If you think maybe the 10th, and I know it's more than that, but say you're at the 10th dimension, and then this light, this sound happens. And as it's emanating forth or down, like dimensionally, it's getting thicker. And so it's taking on qualities, properties. So the first one would be as light, and then that light transcends into color. And all along the way, there's also a musical tone that's associated with that frequency. So at some point, I would say that the color triggers for sensitivity to certain energies.
Let me ask you this. When I read for people, I have tinnitus or whatever, I hear frequencies, but when I'm searching for an answer, the frequency is very high. But when I get to the closer to the answer, the frequency sound gets lower. And I hear all these people say, "Oh God, I can't handle the frequency," and I say I'd be lost without it, because I depend on those frequencies for answers. When you are doing Reiki, or when you're doing your energy work, is there any sense of a certain part, whether it's scent, hearing? Do you feel anything registering through your body as you do Reiki?
I do. I feel, and I cry with my clients.
Wow.
Always, actually, always I do, because I feel it in here, in my heart. So, and it's very interesting because when they're really hurting, I can really get behind that feeling, and I think about just giving them a hug, just holding them, and that exchange actually heals. And I know that there's a chemical reaction that happens when two people hug each other. So, was that oxytocin is released? I think it is. So, a lot of my healing I do like this, through a screen, because I'm healing people like in Australia and Vietnam, Korea, all kinds of places. So, I don't get a chance to hug them.
Right.
But that doesn't stop my spirit from going through that screen and being right next to that person.
Cool.
And having them feel me.
Now, is that since the pandemic, or is that
It's
the way you prefer?
That's been my way always.
Okay.
I don't know, it's that aloha spirit in me, You just have to me, there's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it. And it works. It works. If I imagine giving someone a hug, screaming, and they're like this, and you just hold them and let them calm down. There's that exchange when they're calming down. I want them to sync with me. Just, okay, go ahead, sob, go crazy, but breathe with me. Just breathe. And they calm down. I can take pain away that way. I can give them a bit more clarity in their thoughts. Yeah.
Do you have a website that people could reach you by?
Sure. All you need to do is think about aloha. So spreadaloha.net. That's me.
Spreadaloha.net. Okay. I'm trying to figure 49 minutes. We've got one more meditation. I think that's about 9 minutes, I think, or so. I'm going to have Bill play that, and then we have enough time to say goodbye, and maybe you can do a small prayer or something for us, or a small goodbye aloha or whatever. And so, Bill, if you would, put on the candles and the meditation, please. Thank you.
Disturbance is coming from outside your influence. Be diligent and disentangle yourself. Be still. Do not engage. Look into all your associations and see where you have given up your power to others, or have compromised when the benefit would have been to stand firm. This is a cause of the disturbance in focus, form, and intention. You've been experiencing disquiet in the depths of your inner knowing. There have been bouts of not feeling comfortable in your skin. This has been so uncomfortable that you have had difficulty finding a comfortable place or way to sit, stand, or sleep. In these times, you will be challenged. It will get more intense. Hold steady and do not engage. Simply observe and do not take the words and actions of others personally. Stay steady and do not engage. By doing this, you'll conserve your precious energy and the fire will burn itself out. Your thought processes and actions have been clouded by your desire for a successful outcome. This is futurizing, which has led to overthinking your situation and not living in the present. By focusing solely on correctness, fame, position, recognition, outcomes of any sort, you are missing the point. It's not that you cannot have all these things. You can, and with attention to movement with and for the greater good, you will. What is problematic is your ego's projection into the future that is preventing you from accessing your intuitive clarity. It is that clarity that will bring you to your well-deserved and worked-for success. Your call now is to be spontaneous and move with resolute confidence in who you are and what you desire. The beneficial action now is disentangling, releasing any ties that have bound you to your past influences and to outmoded ways of action and thinking. The trickster aspect of the ego would have you look into the future and see the titillating, grand, and shiny things that represent success. When you think you've figured it out, the smartest, the most clever and cool ways to move toward your goal, this arrogance will lead to a disastrous outcome. Do not doubt this. The ego will tempt you to move swiftly toward your desires, come hell or high water. But it doesn't work that way. Consider the ignored part of your being, your inner and sweet child of innocence. Slow down. Do not act out of fear. You'll scare yourself. Fear will have you looking to the future and trying to plan for every contingency. This would only sap your energy and ultimately prevent you from receiving the love, abundance, and happiness that awaits you. It is wise to plan and to be thoughtful, but limit those thoughts and plans to the present. In doing so, the journey will be truthful, peaceful, efficient, and more joyful. Your balance along the path is to include being of service to others and to Gaia, our Mother Earth of oceans, deserts, mountains, plains, and all her sentient beings. This will allow you to handle whatever surprising events may come your way with a focused clarity that will enable you to act spontaneously and creatively, so you'll be able to embrace the moment. The magic is in the moment. Be free of forethought and reflection. Remember that, and it will keep you in the present. Look neither to the past nor to the future. Be here now. Now, the benefit is to walk with like-minded people, fellow pilgrims. Move away from those who suck your energy by raising doubts, fears, or envy. The ego, the critic, the inner judge will try to sneak in while you are traveling on your path and tell you that you need to be reasonable.
I wanted to say goodbye because we have 2 minutes, Lana. That's beautiful. So, do you have any words of wisdom to give us before you leave?
My love is light. My love is might. My love is right. It grows stronger every day as I give it away to all those in need. I will feed love, unity, and peace. And as I send my chi ball up into the light, still warm and mild, to each and every one of you, and especially to you, Annie,
Oh, thank
it is
you.
my will. So shall it be.
I love it. Thank you so much. Well, Lana, I appreciate you very, very much being here. And it's always inspirational to have you and to not be around another redneck Iowan. I'm sorry, I like rednecks too,
That's so funny.
I forget there's people out there like you. But anyway, no, and Joseph. Joseph's not either. Joseph's enlightening too. But anyway, love you and goodbye.
Love you too. Bye for now. Aloha.
Aloha.